Hey, it's me, MLB. I've just hit 1K subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. From the feedback I've been receiving, it looks like you're all enjoying what I'm putting out here, so thank you all for your support and encouragement. As promised, I've honoured the requests of the polls. You asked for another BNHA one-shot, so in celebration of hitting the first big milestone, here is the BNHA one-shot. This one is for the Sero Hanta fans, paired with a female listener, of course. And as I said before, I usually don't write in specifics in my stories or one-shots just to keep it blank canvas as possible. But in this one-shot, you wear knee-high stockings. So if you don't wear knee-high stockings and reading about them is an offence or triggering topic, then please don't read. But if you're here for the feels, then jump aboard. This one is titled Her. Enjoy. The train station was as busy as always that Wednesday morning, as Sero sat looking out the train window, eyes darting left and right, scanning the people on the station platform. As the train slowed to a stop, he caught sight of you, that cute girl with knee-high stockings. His heart immediately jumped in his chest, and he sat up a little straighter, craning his neck to watch you hop onto the train. You were hopping onto his carriage. Once you had disappeared from his sight, he quickly sat back and opened his book, attention on his surroundings, not on the pages, and he glanced to his left as you sat down in the seat across the aisle from him. You were in your usual clothes, signed off with your signature knee-high stockings. He loved knee-high stockings on girls, they were his weakness. He stole another quick peek and sighed. She's just so pretty, he thought to himself. He had seen you pretty much every day for the last month. You'd always hopped into the same carriage as him and sat somewhere close to him, and he really wanted to introduce himself but didn't know where to start. Throughout the train ride, he would take every opportunity to sneak a peek, each time daring to indulge his eyes just that little bit longer until finally you hesitantly glanced at him from the corner of your eye. Oh heck, I've been caught, he thought with alarm, hurriedly looking away. You had noticed the friendly-looking black-haired shy guy from the very first day that you'd hopped into the same carriage as him. From then on, fate seemed to be bringing you two both together each morning. The more you caught sight of him glancing at you, the more you took notice of him. He was always dressed neatly, and you liked his style. Weeks had gone by, and it was at a stalemate. He had never made a move to speak to you, so you decided the next morning you'd sit directly opposite him to see if that would entice a conversation. As usual, you got off at your stop, and he watched you go, sighing with love-struck disappointment as you disappeared in amongst the crowd. The next morning, he scanned the passengers on the platform as the train pulled up at the station, and a pair of black knee-high stockings caught his eyes, sending his heart aflutter. There she is! He returned his eyes to his book as you entered the carriage, and to his delight and fear, you sat down directly opposite him, your knees almost touching his as you sat. He stared at your beautiful legs that were covered to just above the knee, willing himself to avert his eyes, but he was transfixed. He blinked a few times and looked down his book, then hesitantly looked up into your face. You were smiling at him. Oh my God, she's smiling at me. That smile's so gorgeous. She's too pretty. What do I do? He spent a good amount of time staring timidly at you before letting out a bit of a wobbly, Hello. Hi, you replied in a sing-song voice. I've seen you around. Lots, Sarah said quietly. Same, you said, smiling softly at him. He seemed a little reserved, but you found it endearing, and he blushed and looked back down his book. What are you reading? You asked him, coaxing the conversation along. He raised the book so you could see the cover. It was your favourite book, and you gasped. I love that series, you exclaimed excitedly. Oh, you know about this book? His eyes sparkled. You chatted about your favourite characters from the series and discussed various plot lines and developments. You found him very easy to talk to, so your conversation continued. As you neared your stop, you got up to leave and spoke your parting line. Well, it was lovely talking with you. Sero. Hanta Sero. He gave you a straight smile. Sero, you repeated with a smile. His heart melted at the sound of his name rolling off your tongue, and he sat there gazing dreamily at you as you looked in the direction of the train doors. The train was stopping, and you turned to go. Wait, what's your name? He panicked. He had been so enthralled with talking with you that he hadn't even asked your name. You heard him at the last moment before the exiting crowd carried you along with them. Yin! Yin Lin! You called back over your shoulder as passengers pushed you out the door. Yin, he said softly to himself. See you tomorrow. But you were gone. He sat back in his chair and pressed his face against the window, craving one last glimpse of you. All he saw were a pair of knee-high stockings. And that's it. That was a short one, but I hope you enjoyed it. Sero needs so much more love, so I hope this one did him justice. Oh, stay tuned for the next one-shot, coming whenever the next one comes.